All right, so it's clobbering time, or at least I have just some regular 2-inch screws with some washers set in here with a 2x4 running out towards my front door for leverage. That's on the rotating housing of this vise. And then I have this stick over here. I'm going to put my foot on it, and it's clamped into the jaws. So I'm going to try and send these in 2 different directions and see if this pops loose at all. So you're going to find out with me live in a second here. Okay, here goes nothing. Let's see. She's moving. It's a little sticky. Oh, I didn't hear anything pop. Oh, look at that. She's sliding right off. Now I need to be careful that I don't crack it on the exit. All right. Certainly. All right, keep going. Oh, sorry if I bumped the camera. Oh, man, this stuff's heavy. So that's it. Just some doubled up washers and some 2-inch drywall screws. Okay, this fell out. Might be handy if somebody could tell me if it goes in. It probably goes in this way. Seems pretty boring for it to. It seems like that taper kind of wedges into something. And so that's the cylinder right there, and I can see a shiny spot, which I'm guessing corresponds with this guy. Okay, so it's weird when things aren't as bad as I think they should be, and they're not as bad as I would have thought they would have been. So here's our piece that fell out. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the taper goes in, so I think I figured that out to kind of lock up the barrel here. I just using 70%. Clean this out. So lots of metal. Okay, so I think I've solved the mystery. There was this bolt that was added with the stack of washers, and now I see that what they did was whoever was using this locked it in. It's threaded on this side of the housing right there. So this will fit it. So that will fit it, and this bolt will fit it. But what happened was they locked it in with this bolt and these washers. This is the brake mechanism, this tapered cylinder with the hole through it. And I couldn't figure out how this works until I saw this sleeve here. And so what has to happen is this guy goes on there after this pin gets tapped out. And then that allows this to reach through and pull this thing tight, if you can still see that. So what it does is it tightens or looses this mechanism by grabbing on this threaded part over here. It reaches in, and then that acts as a brake on the drum here. So I just need to tap out this pin, attach this. So tap out this pin right here. You can see I think it's supposed to be tappable. So I have to knock that out through here, put this back on, and tap it back into position, and then hopefully it'll work the way it's supposed to. So somebody put this pin in here, but they didn't try very hard, so I don't think it's going to take much to get it out. I have a punch and chisel set from Harbor Freight, and it's been super duper handy. It has, it's Pittsburgh, so they'll replace it if any one of them fails. They'll just give you a whole new set. And then I had a little, you don't want to use a nail set because they're tapered, and so as it goes in, it might get stuck or damage something. These are the same thickness all the way through, so they're good for knocking out a pin. All right, so there we go. Didn't even have to hit it. So that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy onto here, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to hammer this together. Probably just grab a pliers and squeeze it into position, but let's see. I don't want to wreck the threads. Let's see if I got some scrap wood laying around. Okay, so I was able to rest it on a couple pieces of wood down here on the floor. I used a really big punch, but it had a flat tip. Some of them have pointy tips, but this was flat enough to where it acted like a big nail set. I was able to align it, and only took a couple of good whacks with my little claw hammer here. It's actually not very big. I'm zoomed in. But I think this is set. It's more or less centered, so it should track into the housing. So let's see. Is it? So it moves, twist it, and it doesn't move. I almost forgot about that stupid ring. Ugh, let's see if I can get this thing back on without taking a finger off. Painting ring wants to bend the other way. The other problem is I can't do this one-handed. The screws definitely have limits to their ability to deal with the situation. Okay, what's happening is I've got two woodworking clamps kind of holding this thing in position. And if by some miracle I can get this ring to submit. Well, I lost the clamp, but I got quite a bit of ring installed. Oh, there it is. Wow. I don't even know what flew away. Something took off. I don't know what it was. So that's still retained. I don't know if I told you about the cracked handle. It's a bummer, but yeah, I did say that if it did crack all the way, I would make a replacement handle out of the hardest wood in the world. Wow. Okay, so I couldn't clamp onto the foot here or the rotating base. I was going to pull it because it was actually sliding forward. So I had to grab the inside of the jaw with a clamp beefy enough and long enough to where I could grab it there. And the trick was to keep the ring from kicking out on the bottom here. That was the biggest problem, is even if I had the vice grips trick with the screws here that I was doing, even if I was doing that, the problem is the ring was twisting this way quite a bit and it wouldn't come close to seating. But by trapping it with a couple of wood clamps with enough jaw reach to hold it in position, I was able to actually press it kind of around this portion of the rotating, the housing, or the shaft coming through the housing. And then I was able to take the screwdrivers or the screws and then do the vice grips trick to get enough reach to pop that on. So that is an accomplishment in my book. So hope you enjoyed seeing that ridiculousness. And I'm John, the flipping idiot. Liking this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want more shenanigans, possibly with this Vise. Who knows? We'll see.